Good afternoon, our Wallin Klarich friends. I'm Paul Wallin, Senior Partner at Wallin Klarich, and today I'd like to speak to you all about what's been in the news every day for the last week or so, and that are the sexual abuse allegations lodged against Harvey Weinstein, who is a very, very high figure in the entertainment world. He has been responsible for an unbelievable amount of successful movies, and he's been dominant in the Hollywood scene. It seems that approximately 20 different women have come forward over the last 2 weeks and stated that they have been sexually abused by him. The evidence appears to be overwhelming. However, of course, no evidence has appeared in court. And yet what has been one of the most fascinating things for me to wrap my head around is how two people, both accused of extremely serious sexual violations of women, have been treated so differently by our system. In Mr. Weinstein's case, immediately when celebrities came forward and actresses came forward and said that they were abused by Mr. Weinstein, they showed a history of him doing these kind of things to women over the years. What happened to him before his arrest, before anything? He was in fact presumed guilty. And in fact, before you knew it, he was thrown out of his corporation, and he was thrown out of the Hall of Fame of Hollywood people. Why was that? It was because of women coming forward, many, and the general public being outraged and saying, we don't want a man to have any kind of power at all if he's been sexually abusing these women all these years. And so he's now in some facility, apparently getting treatment for his problem in taking advantage of women. What he did, if true, is not only disgusting and immoral, but it is incomprehensible to most normal people. And of course, if he could be found guilty of a crime, people want him punished and put in jail. And then what happened almost 1 year to the day ago? Many women came forward. They weren't celebrities. They were just regular women in most cases. And they accused someone else of serious violations, sexual abuse, sexual assault. Many who didn't even know each other. And they all accused the same person of that sexual assault. That person was Donald Trump. And what happened to him? Did he go to a mental institution? Did he get therapy? Was he thrown out? No. He was elected President of the United States of America. And I just find it absolutely fascinating how two people accused of almost the same kind of violations of women's rights and how they've been dealt with. Now, Mr. Weinstein in California, if some of these allegations come forward and they're from women in California, we've been asked what would the punishment be for him. The answer is that probably nothing, because these are violations that occurred a long time ago in most cases, and if they're violations that occurred over 10 years ago, they would likely be barred by the statute of limitations. But for people that would like to see people prosecuted and sent to prison for sexual abuse violations, California in January of this year passed a new law which basically abolished the statute of limitations for sexual assault. And that means if you are accused of child molestation or rape or something like that, and a person comes in to the police department and says, 40 years ago, I was sexually abused or raped by that man, believe it or not, if that man is still living, he can be arrested, prosecuted, and if convicted, put in prison for possibly the rest of his life. Some people would say, that's great. That person should be punished, and he got away with murder. But other people would say, are you kidding me? How am I supposed to defend myself? This allegedly happened 40 years ago, and now she's accusing me, or he's accusing me. So it's a complicated area of law, but for those that believe in justice, if someone in fact has raped a person or sexually violated them, they should be punished. On the other hand, they have to be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I believe that would be very difficult if someone comes forward years and years later and says, I just remembered that I've been violated. Very complicated and also very frustrating for me, and I assume many people who wonder how two people who are being accused of very similar things can be treated so amazingly differently. How it happened, I don't know. How this man got elected president, I don't know. I just feel sorry that it happened that way. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll talk again next week.